Good morning. Oh, let me get my microphone.
Hello.
Good morning. Happy Christmas week to you. Merry Christmas. No happy holidays around this place. Only Merry Christmas. And, well, it was a beautiful thing. Waking up this morning. And seeing Santa came to town with his big old bag of gifts. Yeah, buddy. That's fun. So, anyways, we'll just be sitting here pretty much doing what we do always. So, whenever some people come strolling on in, we'll be here. We'll help you predict the market, help you understand what's going on, and then we all get to go and have a good, merry old Christmas this week, and hopefully some good food, have some good time with some family, come back the next week, and we'll do it all over again. Boy, oh boy, that was tasty. Remember, this is not a stock market live stream. No, actually it is, but it's more of an arts and crafts class. This is what you come here for. You come to learn arts and crafts and be entertained. Are you not entertained? What's our friend Shitcoin doing, huh? Nothing, not a whole lot. Going back up. VWAT. Yeah, I'm pretty much just joking around, being a silly goose this morning, but I can assure you we'll actually start doing something of meaning when someone actually gets here. Oh man. Whew. Oh, good morning, one person. How are you doing, you beautiful soul? Are you doing okay? Yeah. You happy Santa Claus came to visit you too and brought you a bunch of presents here on Monday morning? Yeah, me too. We'll get started soon. We just gotta wait for the usual to start strolling on in. Yep, just waiting for our beautiful friends, the whole 10 of them. Well, we'll wait for them to get here and then we'll get started. Dang, hang now. The man is an absolute danger to society when it comes to the market and his live streams. I mean, let me tell you. Absolute danger. Do 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 cha. The only smart 10. Hey, what's up, Crypto P? Yep, we'll call them the Magnificent 10. Damn. Oh, man. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit tired. Oh, man. It's been a long couple months, I'll tell you. I feel like, well, I mean, that's not entirely true. Not like I've worked every single day, but pretty much. Yeah, I mean, Saturday was that? Yeah, Saturday this weekend was the first day I haven't worked in, well, probably since, um, mm, probably like mid-October. Mm, Yeah, probably about all right. Yeah, probably since mid-October. Actually, was the first day I haven't actually worked. So that was a nice day of some rest. Then it was back to it yesterday. Gosh, my nose just keeps itching. I hate the winter, dude. It gets so dry. It just bothers me. Yay! We almost got into our 10 loyal friends. We're almost there. We can almost start. Because I'd just rather not repeat a bunch of stuff. Just give it one go, you know? Um, but yeah, like I said, well, this always seems like I'm doing something, right? But yeah, just working on some more properties and getting the one I'm in ready to go and being turned into a rental here. It's going to be rented January 10th. I'm still living here, so I got to get out of here pretty soon. But January 10th, we have some tenants moving into this property that I'm literally currently sitting in. So it's been kind of one of those games of getting the next house ready, getting this one ready, along with another one ready and rented out. So it just always seems like everything comes to a head all at once a lot of times. So it's just kind of been one of those things. So I've been having to go for probably the past 2.5 months every single day. I enjoy it, but I just haven't really had a whole lot of rest. Yeah. Two, I mean, I guess that's good enough to start, you know. Everyone who's going to watch today's stream pretty much already knows everything, so. Anyways, market's in a buy signal, as we said it was on Friday. I'm long biased the market. I'm still holding long bias the market. The Santa Claus rally is here. The banks, the market makers, the hedge funds, me's, the U's, we're all long bias the stock market. We're forcing it up. Anybody who's short's getting cooked. This is exactly pretty much everything we explained was going to happen last week. I really don't know how much more there is to say, you know. Well, I do, but now we're just gonna ride the market long until I or the system says to be bearish. That's it. And you guys see how it's just a repeating process over and over and over. So again, I'm long, been long. The Santa rally is here. He's taking his big old red sack. He's dumped a bunch of gifts on the market. It's a beautiful thing. As we progress through this day, all the headlines in the market are going to be positive. You will start to see articles of Santa rally. They will say Santa did not leave you. He's here. So we are going to see the news shift if it hasn't already. I mean, I already know it has because on Friday, that's when the buy signal started. So that's when the news started to shift positive. And now that we've opened up today with a gap up, put on some gains over the weekend, we will see a further optimistic news headlines or news cycling, if you will. That's pretty much it. And so the reason we're seeing that is because, again, we flipped into a buy signal. Market makers have moved structure to the upside. Banks are moving it up. I'm moving it up, kind of. Not really with my small little monies, but a very, 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 very minimal help to the market and moving it up. But, yeah, so that's pretty much just it. We're just going to keep riding this bad boy along until it makes sense to not. And right now it does not make sense to not. So we're just going to keep riding it long. And the only time we're going to really shift bearish is when the S&P 500 goes into a selling operation or until the volatility indexes start to express fear or potential risks in the market. And so until we see that, we're not going to be bearish. And also until we see those things, the news really probably won't be bearish. So yeah, I really don't expect this week to be bad at all. I think pretty much majority of this week's going to be good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to sell the market off before Christmas. It's possible that we might not see the most bullish movement all through the week, but There's not. I don't see there being any serious sell off. If there is, again, I don't really care. At the end of the day, but yeah, I mean, I do in the sense that I'd like it to keep going up because I swing along the market. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if it goes down at this point. But yeah, I don't really see the market going down this week before Christmas. So what do we have today? We have tomorrow, and then we have a half day Wednesday. Yeah, just going to be staying long bias the entire market, optimistic the whole entire rest of the week. Maybe as we get into next week, some things might change. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, just grab a coffee, enjoy yourself, and we'll just watch the market long. I can't say you should be buying long the market now, because remember, what do we always say? You're supposed to be getting long the market as close as you can to when the market is breaking over the 50 SMA. So that was arguably Thursday, but it was wrong, and then it redid it Friday. So right where that arrow is pointing, that's where I started buying long, and then I kind of gave some up a little bit and bought a little more. It wasn't the best management of a trade, but ultimately, that's where I started suggesting to you last stream, close to be, not even, no, I didn't suggest shit. I didn't suggest anything. I just said, hey guys, market's going to 50 SMA. I'm going to add on risk. I'm going to start getting risk on, because that's when I am supposed to be getting long based off of what the systems tell me. And so yeah, now we're just gonna ride the market long, and like I said, that's so. Do as you may, but yeah, that's that's it. And then to add on top of that, we'll talk a little bit about the sell signal volume weighted average price. So as you guys see here, here's your sell signal volume weighted average price from the past. You see how the market stays below it, and then once we get above it, then the market is starting to squeeze, right? So this was the key volume trend of our last selling operation. Once the market gets flipped into a buy signal and breaks over, everyone who's been bearish for the last week and a half, they squeeze themselves out. So that's all happened. So that's great. That was all discussed Friday. So again, what you have to do now, what I have to do, what we have to do, what most of the entire stock market probably won't be doing as it relates to retail, is we're now going to be looking at the long operation. So watch, ready? So ready how we were just doing this. See how we put it up here? We're like, hey, this is the previous sell move and blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to do this. We're going to take this down here, and we're going to go like that. And we're going to change the settings to low, like so. A bing, bang, boom. And now we're on the long. When in the future, at some point, maybe the market breaks down that VWAP, maybe we'll stop out those longs. But I don't want to go that far out. So just know that now we're looking at the volume weighted average price of the buy move going up. And what else am I going to say? Yeah, that's pretty much that. We also have a big gap up today. So if we're really, really, really lucky today, I mean, I guess really lucky is not even the word, but I guess if the market's cool today and Santa Claus is in a really good mood, we have a really big gap up today. And if he's in a really, really good mood, and if the market makers and the people that actually control the stock market are cool, and, they don't want to step on a piece of gum this week, they're going to rally the market really good for us. What I mean by that is I'm hoping that we do a gap and go today, or I'm hoping that we do a, what is this? Hold on. That was that receipt I was looking for. Yeah, I'm hoping we do a gap and go, or a gap pullback and go. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you can kind of just hope, because when you have really big gaps in the market, gap ups like we're seeing today. When I say really big, I mean that's pretty big. What do we? I mean, 680.58 was the close on Friday. We're at 683.99, so that's already two. So that's 684. So it's like $3.42. Wait, that doesn't seem right. It is right, right? Yeah, 684. That would be $3.42. So that's a pretty big gap up. Now, if we can turn that into a gap and go all the way to the 161, we're going to absolutely blow people's minds today. And the news will just be like, oh my gosh, Santa Claus, the rally, woo! But then again, when you have really big gap ups, it's not as easy. It's less likely to get your gap and go or your gap pullback and then go. Because the distance to achieve the gap and go structure to the 161 becomes such a big stretch that the market goes, oh my gosh, are we really going to gap up $3 and then we're really going to go like another $3? So now we're going to have a 6-point move on the day, or 600 point, whatever. It could be huge. So it's just not as easy to do that. I'm just kind of fingers crossed that we do that, because that would be awesome. So fingers crossed that we do a mega gap and go today, or a mega gap pullback and go. I don't really care how it happens. Either it gaps and just goes, or it can gap, pull back, rebalance, then go. That's totally fine. I pretty much see them both the same way. As long as the market goes to the 161 off a gap, I don't really care if it happens without a pullback or with a pullback. I still just see that as a gap and go in general. But other people don't, so that's why I say gap, pullback, then go. But anyways. So yeah, that would be sweet. So again, I have no clue what's going to happen. I just know that those are things that can happen. So yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the day. Hope you're having fun. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you got some good stuff planned. Yeah. Rock on. Good morning, Upside Investing. Good morning, Crypto Pete. Oh. I'm just making random noises. Don't worry about me. Somewhat sleep deprived over the past 2.5 months, but, who needs sleep, right? I mean, you could sleep when you're dead. Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about the volatility index, because what else are we gonna do, right? Yeah, all right. So as we normally do, again, remember it's just the same system repeated over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Whoa, where did my fit? Oh, there it goes. So remember on Friday we were talking about how the volatility index was broken down and the VVIX was broken down, and before market open you go, the market is down, but I don't understand why. Why are people so fearful? There's no reason to be fearful. The market does not say to be fearful. So I'm assuming we're just going to buy the market up. And sure enough, that happened. So that was cool. So as you can see, market below 50 SMA on VIX. When that's the case, markets are not fearful. So you're more likely to see the markets go up. All right. So that's that. And then also when you look at the VVIX here, as you can see, VVIX on Friday was down. So you have no one hedging for risk in the market, and there's no fear in the market going into the open on Friday. So why would we be bearish? You wouldn't. So obviously market slams up, obviously. Now, obviously, I didn't know that was fully going to happen, but that's kind of where I was leaning to, because, like I said, it was a very unique situation on Friday morning. Something that I was very happy to be in front of my computer to witness, because that's going to help me next time around, probably. Like, for example, if next year we were coming into Christmas, and I'm like, hey, guys, we're looking for a Santa Claus rally. But then all of a sudden, I see the VVIX and the VIX, and like, if say, same scenario next year, it's Friday, we wake up, we're on stream, and we go, oh, why is the VVIX, why are people hedging for risk? And why is there fear in the market, right? Then I might be like, maybe the Santa Claus rally isn't here, right? Maybe we're not going to be breaking up. Maybe we would continue down. That was not the case this time. This case was, why is the market down, but no one's fearful and no one's hedging risk? That probably means we're going to get dip bought. So all I'm really explaining right now is that there is no fear in the market. There is nobody hedging downside risk right now in the market. Could that change? Sure. Is it the case right now? No. So, I am not going to be fearful. We're going to be optimistic. Pump. Hit it with the two-step Magoo. We did get the two-step Magoo, actually. Remember we talked about that? No, you don't, because who the hell knows what a two-step Magoo is? Nobody, because I made it up, because I'm a weirdo. That's why. But we did get the two-step Magoo. All right, it's kind of like a Euro step, you know, in basketball, even though I don't really like basketball. But ready? So here we go. Over the 50 SMA, that's a one-step. That's a two-step right there. Bing, bang, boom. Two-step Magoo. It's basically continuation. Market doing what you want. Just like this. Like this is a two-step Magoo in the market. Ready? Market goes below 50 SMA, and then dang. Right? Like, so you get your initial slam. Down. Two-step Magoo. Two-step Magoo. That's just a joke. I'm just having fun because, again, like I said, I really have I don't even know what to say anymore, you know. Just a bunch of random stuff about why we're up. We're going to go up. Hopefully get a gap and go. And, you know, I guess, you know, once you've just been sitting in front of your computer for like 10 years straight doing the same thing over and over and over, I mean, like, well, how much more is there to really say, you know? But I do love it. I'm having a lot of fun right now, believe it or not, you know. Again, as far as Bitcoin goes, it's just the same thing as it's always been. We're pretty much looking for this market on Bitcoin to go back to the daily VWAPs or the weekly VWAPs somewhere in like the 100,000, 104,000. Pretty straightforward there. When it happens, everyone's going to be all surprised, and then we'll just sit here and be like, see, two-step Magoo, little two-step Magoo. Oh, there is one thing I guess we could talk about that I haven't thought of yet this morning. That is going to be... Oh, no. We don't want to do that. That is going to be this. The 30-minute volume weighted average price of today's pre-market session. So pretty much, even if the market were to pull back into the open today at some point, we're still going to stay long bias for immediate daily upsided momentum as long as it's over this price. Literally how I'm drawing it. It doesn't have to do that. I'm just saying, like, that would be worst case scenario. Well, hold on. If it weren't just to go straight up out of the gates, but it was still going to go up over the day, and it had to have a pullback, arguably that would be like worst case scenario, but still okay, right? As in, like, it can literally pull all the way down there and just get bought straight up and keep going, right? So if the market doesn't just go and keep going, right, we would then arguably be looking at a pullback, right? Because we know markets can only do two things. They can either go up or they can go down, right? So my rocket scientist brain, oh so smart, says, well, if it doesn't go straight up out of the gates, then arguably it could pull back. And if it does pull back, where's it going to pull back to? That would be where I just drew it. And then where could it hold support? Where I just drew it. And then hopefully we hold that and keep going. So that's what we're going to go with today. We're going to go with, we hope it keeps going up. We hope we do a gap and go. We hope we do a gap pullback and go. Oh, remember I was saying we could do a gap pullback and go? That could be the gap pullback and then go, you know? So we're just going to go with that. That's all. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to rock and roll with that, and hopefully all works out well. And yep. Now, I don't know what sort of price point we could be looking at for the gap up or like the gap and go pricing until the market open. I have to wait till the SPX open to start doing a little stuff there. But ultimately, yeah, we're just going to wait till the open, measure the gap on the S&P 500 and see if we can get that puppy to go screaming up and then, really just laugh. Well, let's go see what the news is saying right now. Let's go see. My spidey senses, my spidey tingle meter is saying something like stocks put on gains over the weekend, Santa's here, and so on and so forth. Let's see. I mean, how creative could they possibly be these days? Stock market news today. S&P futures rise to start the holiday shortened week. U.S. stock market today gains across the NASDAQ. Oh my God. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Stock market today, Dow rises as Nvidia rebounds. It's all Nvidia. All Nvidia. Stock market today, Dow and S&P 500 set to open up higher. Something else. Stock market today, Dow and S&P 500 and NASDAQ set gains as year-end push. Tech stocks rebound. Google boomerang. What the hell is a boomerang strategy? CNBC. I mean, who is writing articles for you? Check on that guy. Jim Cramer's. Oh, dear Lord. No, Jim. Jim, no. Stop it, Jim. You sent more people to the grave than smoking, Jim. What else we got here? Oh, well, no one's actually talking about the Santa rally, so I guess I'm wrong in that sense. But who are the tip ranks? Stock market news today. U.S. stocks futures rise into Christmas. You know, who would have thought? That's just crazy. I thought they would have been like super bearish, just like they were like 3 days ago. But guess not. So anyways, the news is doing just as we expected. Going up, positive. So I guess one could say that the stock market system is working perfect. Literally. What more could you ask for? Stock market goes into a buy signal. Hence, that's why we're doing a Santa rally. Or that's why the market's going up. And now we have all of the major news outlets pumping the market. Nvidia's great. Oracle's great. Rising into Christmas. Yay. Right? So the system that is in place and will be in place until the end of time, until we nuke ourselves to death or until an asteroid hits planet Earth, is doing as it should. What a beautiful thing. It's like going and seeing an orchestra, and the tune is just playing beautifully right now. So all I gotta say is I'm very happy, because what else would you want from the market? It's literally, you honestly cannot ask much more of the market. You go into a buy signal on Friday, market straight pumps, you wake up with the mega gap up. All right, maybe not a mega gap up, but a big gap up. All the news articles are pumping the market right before Christmas. I mean, if you ask me, it's a beautiful thing to see. So, cheers. And I get to sit here in my sweatpants and talk about it. I mean, honestly. Dude, check these bad boys out. These little bad boys. Look at these socks. These things are comfy, in the winter, and it gets chilly out here. So, rocking those comfy socks. I mean, who gets to go to work like that every single day? And then also, who gets to help people predict the largest globally traded stock market or ETF in the world, on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis? And, that's a beautiful thing, I think. That's a great thing, Again, guys, I'm not even really looking at any penny stocks. I mean, they're there on the screen. I kind of flipped through them today. Like I said, the past couple of weeks, my brain just hasn't been in it to even really try on any penny stocks. Not that I won't take a stab at some here and there. I don't know. I just kind of like, Again, just flipping through all the ones that are going on this morning, it's all shit. It's just not even... I mean, that's not entirely true. It's just I'm just not making the great trade on them. I'm just kind of missing, if you will. But like I said, it's just not easy. Never is, The timing aspect of them, the liquidity on some of these moves has just been such garbage that I'm just waiting till I think it's better time to strike. So in the meantime, we're just kind of playing on the market, if you will. Oh man, this I thought today was for sure the day the YouTube stream was going on the front page of YouTube. I thought surely that YouTube would think it was a great idea to help people know that the S&P 500 was going to go up. But not yet. But one day. One day. But until then, we're going to keep rocking and rolling, baby. Ba 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 da 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 da. What time is it? 9:21. We have 9 minutes. 9-ish, 8-ish minutes. And all we want to see is a market pump. What are the odds, huh? I had someone request to view one of my rental properties, and they said they would like to pay cash. I'm like, you don't pay money to tour a house. So A, I'm confused. But then I'm like, do they mean pay cash for rent? And I'm like, that's kind of sketchy, if that were the case. So that's going to be an interesting one to kind of go through. It's the first time I've ever heard that or seen that in my in my life of being a landlord. Ah, my eyeball, dude. Yeah, so thumbs up, guys. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. I know might say some weird, goofy things at times, but, you know, what else are you going to do when you sit by yourself in an office all day long, you know? Yeah, guys, just an FYI, our current long target destinations for Bitcoin are like 100,000 to 104,000. All right, so write that on a little sticky note or like a little notepad if you want, right? But yeah, those are the targets. You heard it here first. Ba 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 da 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 da. I wonder if my M1 Finance account, the little dollar cost averaging account that we started for the purpose of this YouTube stream, is positive yet with that pump. Probably not, but we'll see. Let's see. That's weird. Will be 6 about 7. It's only current. Yeah, so that's weird. They must have sent that back to my checking account. Yeah, I don't know yet. Let's see. Yeah, I tried to transfer some money from one account to another account on M1, and I think they ended up just sending it back to my checking because the value of the entire portfolio is less than what it should be. Interesting. Guess we'll figure that one out in due time. We are up 0.84% on the portfolio. We are making mad money. Mad moolah. Let's go, baby. The smart money portfolio is... I don't even know what that's up. Where does it say? But anyways, let me pop this up real quick. So, yay! Smart money portfolio update. I actually got I don't know if I really want VTI and VU in there. I'm kind of like... I mean, one's for like, you know, you get the point. But anyways, I might have to change it around. But overall, you guys get it. VTI, VU, we got some bonds. We got some international stuff. And we have our United States stock market. I kind of think that international markets might even outperform United States markets for like the next decade. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be keeping some money in the international markets because I do think that I actually kind of think they're gonna have a better return than the United States markets. Excuse me. So, anyways, we'll keep you all updated along the way. We'll keep adding money to these and playing with them and having funds and same old, same old. One day those will be worth $2,100. They could be worth $3,200 at some point. You never know, you know? Heck, they could be worth $1.25. Never know. You're just going to have to stick around to find out. What about this guy? No. Man, it would be so cool to actually get a gap and go, or at least a gap pullback and go, but market's already put on quite a bit of gain, so all we can do is just be hopeful, get the hopium going, fingers crossed. That might be something. 928. Do you still use standard deviations? Yes, I do. So standard deviations I pretty much use for predicting when things are overbought or using it for dip buying the stock market. Those are usually the two ways that I use it now is as basically overbought equities, overbought markets, and oversold markets. So I basically use it for buying the stock market when it's on sale, and then like silver right now, silver's running up into +2 standard deviation, might get to +3, +4, start deleveraging some more of that position, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's pretty much how I use it now. Or like for the volatility index, when the volatility index gets up into +2s, +3s, it usually tops out, things like that. So well, I just use a mirage of different strategies when I think they're best used, if you will. You ever use levels? Yeah, all the time. I don't look at price points as like a horizontal thing. I don't do that. No. If that's what you mean by levels. But I mean, I do use levels every single day. SMA levels, so on and so forth. VWAP levels, right? My levels are just usually different than the average. A lot of people like to look at the markets as a horizontal thing. I usually kind of look at them as an evolving thing. So market on SPY is pulling back. As we mentioned, 30-minute VWAP, that could arguably be our target for our pullback. As long as the market's above that, things are fine. Don't even worry. Don't be scared. If we're above that, that means the market can still just get bought up and rally out. So there will be no big shakedown in the market unless we actually stop out all the volume that bought the market from pre-market today. Without stopping out the pre-market action, the market's not going to sell off big. So don't be scared. You know, the one yeah, you know, if you how do I say this? I don't really know. The one thing that's repeated the most in the Bible is do not be afraid. So just like I'm saying, do not worry, do not be afraid. There's no need, guys. Do not be afraid. All right. There's nothing in the market telling you to be scared. Don't be scared. Oh, man. Come on. Oh, yeah. Let's go look at the SPX, see if we can get our 161 gap and go, baby. Let's get it. So our target for today with the successful Santa Claus Pumper Magooster McGee is going to be $6,884.97 or Magoos. Let's get that hopium loaded and rocket fuel this bad boy. Again, guys, I'm already swing long in the market. Been swing long since Friday. I got nothing to do. I'm just sitting here doing my best to pump the stock market, if you will. But yeah, that's it. Again, I'm just like I'm just relaxing in my PJs right now. I'm just hanging out in my PJs. I know it's 9:32 in the morning, but I kind of want to go get an orange Fanta from downstairs. I'm not a big pop drinker, but there is something that Fanta has done to my heart. I do love myself an orange Fanta from time to time. So I might go get one of those. You know, it's Christmas week. It's the I'm feeling a little froggy. You know, I might have to get a little crazy and go get a Fanta. You know. Again, guys, this would be, I don't want to say best case scenario, but pretty much like that 1618 would be best case scenario long target for the day. Now remember, when you have such big gaps, it's harder to do the gap and goes to 161. That would be our be all end all destination for today. That's kind of the hopeful target. And then remember, too, our current kind of pullback destination for the moment is still the VWAP. It always is, right? So you can see where, you can already see earlier today we had that big initial wick down, pretty much went there. So ultimately, that's where it looks like this is going to roll to now, is pretty much right to there. Oh, snipe. Yeah, looks like we're going to roll this market to right about there. Give or take. Let's pull up the market internals. What are these guys doing? So S&P issues are doing fine. Magnificent Seven are pulling back. So those are part of the reason the market's not going up for the moment. So basically, if we want the market to keep going up, we're going to need the pretty much the NASDAQ and the Magnificent Seven to start getting bought up. So that's pretty much what we're watching right now. If the market's going to go up, keep going up in the immediate, we need green candles to start printing on the Magnificent Seven QQQ. It's pretty straightforward. We probably just hit that pullback target. Yep, see, we just pulled right down into the target, but it's actually probably a little lower now. Yep, so, because as the market moves down, the VWAP trails down. So, anywhere from there to there now is the pullback destination. Now, this is where the market would have to start kind of getting supported to keep the immediate kind of easier momentum to the upside. But yeah, Crypto P, I rarely look at the market and look at previous price action of candles and then like use horizontal levels for the future. I almost never do that. All right, so real quick, let's see. So there's your pullback, right? So you see how we said market can pull down into Then it needs to get supported there. So this would be that first initial micro attempt at support. Does it last? Does it keep going? Don't know. Have no clue. It's all going to be based off the market internals. All right. You need the NASDAQ to stop going down, and you need green candles on the Magnificent Seven. If you don't get that, then the market will continue to slide. You know, and just like that, we talked about market gap up. We'd love to see a big gap and go, but then you get into the open, and the equities markets are not performing in the way that you need to keep that move going up in the immediate, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, you can have ideas of what you want to happen, but and what can happen, but you still need the market to cooperate. Right now, it's not, and that's fine. Will it change? Maybe. It's just not working right now. I'm hoping it does, though. And here's another thing. Look at, as we always discuss, look at the S&P issues straight up. Look at, oh damn it, like look at the the New York Stock Exchange advancing declining issues straight up, right? Somehow the market's not going up. Explain that to me. Oh, that's right, because we literally control the market with a handful of stocks. Jeez. Whoa. All right, Thinkorswim. That is crazy. How is this thing still not working? I don't even understand. There we go. So yeah, we just basically need some love from the Magnificent Seven and the NASDAQ here, and the market can go up. Otherwise, it's going to get a little lackluster. That's fine. It doesn't even matter. Because remember, the only time you truly shift bearish in the market, I'm talking in terms of the swing long I have, it doesn't matter because you only really shift bearish in the market if the S&P 500 goes into a selling operation. So like right now you could be short-term day trading down if you want, but for my swing long it doesn't matter because I basically stay long until the market goes into a breakdown or until the volatility index or fear starts to actually come into the market, and that could be like a true structure change in the market that would be more meaningful to me. On that note, I think I'm going to go get this Fanta. I don't know. This coffee, I've already hit the coffee today. I don't really want another cup. I think we're going to go get some Fanta. So, anyways, I'll be back. Don't break the market. Cheers. Oh. That is so bad for you. But it is so tasty. Gotta say. By the way, probably a good time to mention, which I hadn't already. This morning pre-market, when the market was going up in the pre-market, I did close half of my swing long position that I had on. I'm still holding the remainder. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So I did close a little bit of that swing long in the pre-market, still holding some swing long, and I'm probably going to hold those for as long as I want to until I feel I shouldn't. And when is that going to be? Well, if the volatility index starts to break out, if hedging of volatility happens, or if the market actually breaks down the 50 SMA. How lame. Oh, it's so lame. What? When did that happen? That doesn't even make sense. I don't remember changing that. Again, there is not enough strength right now in the market to keep forcing the market up. So we're kind of doing this low hanging, whatever you want to call it. We need some more movement in the Magnificent Seven and the NASDAQ to prevent the market from continuing to slide, etc. We might be doing the algo candle on the NASDAQ right now, which means we just hit the golden pocket. Yeah, so cool. That was kind of something else I was thinking of today too, but yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Yep. As we said, just not enough buying pressure in the market right now to prevent the market from sliding down. So we're just gonna keep giving back these gains off this big gap up until people start buying the stock market, which would be Magnificent Seven, all that good jam. Holy smokes. Yeah, now the VIX is all the way down at the 14s. Huh, interesting. Yeah, guys, we're, again, still going to be staying long bias the market. I know we've had this little nasty pullback. Everyone's all freaking out. They're all scared, but for no reason. Literally, do not be afraid. No point to be afraid. There's no fear in the market. Oh, actually, you know what? I did forget one thing I want to do. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Um, I mean, I could. I mean, for the moment, I pretty much just swing long the market. I don't really use a whole lot of options right now, but I mean, there's many ways you could. Like, for example, as the market got over the 50 SMA yesterday, instead of being swing long, you could be selling puts. Right? You could be selling, in your case, cash covered puts, so on and so forth. Right? I could do. Um, Let me think. I mean, yeah, you could be doing Texas Bears, Texas Bulls. That might be a little strategy. Either way, long story short, yes, market is over 50 SMA establishes. You could be selling puts below the 50 SMA, right? That's something you can do. Um, just like the other day when the market broke down the 50 SMA, you get selling calls above the 50 SMA, right? So that's one way you could use options as it relates to the current SMA system. You could do that. You could buy directional. But yeah, so. Um, but yeah, so you could do cover calls that way. You could sell. You could sell puts that way. Plenty of ways to involve yourself in the market. I'm just saying, as I've gotten a little older, I just don't. I'm just not as good at handling risk, if you will. My psychology just doesn't seem to do as well. But there might be a day where I start getting back involved more in options. Sometimes I'll trade them, but really I'm just mainly aggressive on ETF equity, if you will. That's usually where I find myself these days. I'll dabble in some futures here and there, but most of what I'm currently doing is literally just 3x leverage ETF market. When it goes into buy it, try to beat the market, right? So what's the market up right now? So like the SPY is up, let's see, from the 50 SMA. So from here, from the best buy point to here, the market is up 1.32%. And with 3x leverage, ETF 1.3, that's like 2.6, right? So it's not but like I'm saying, is repeated over the year, you should be beating the returns of the stock market to a degree, right? Now, obviously, if you throw in some options there and go crazy, then you can easily beat the returns of the market. So without taking on like super leverage risk, I'm still trying to beat the market, if you will, every year. And so this year, the Roth IRA small trading account that I have is up just north of 30%, which should be beating the market. I think the market might be up like 20 something here, maybe 18. I kind of forget, but yeah, what you just said is definitely a reliable strategy. Just the way I explained, you can do it just like back here. All right, market goes into a buy signal. If you want, you can sell puts. Right, you could sell puts below the 50 SMA. Now, mind you, when the market's like right here and you're trying to sell puts below the 50 SMA, it might be so early that you're not quite sure if it's going to sustain the 50 SMA. So in this moment, the premiums on the puts below the 50 SMA would actually be kind of high. But as the market establishes itself over the 50 SMA, the premium on those is going to be low, right? Because everyone, including me, we just know, right? We just know the market's in a buy signal. So the likelihood it's going to drop off a cliff below there is probably unlikely. So the premiums are going to be low, right? Unless you go out far enough, dated out far enough, right? And if you go out dated far enough, then you need the buy signal to last for a couple days to crush the premium on, say, weeklies, or like bi-weekly, if you will. You would need the buy signal to extend for a decent period of time through a weekend, so that way the theta could crush the options, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot more to kind of think about there in that regard, but yeah, it can very well do that with the system that you guys are seeing here on the screen. And the other thing I think about too is like, I know 100% with the strategy that I currently use mainly, and with mainly what I preach here on the channel, what you guys see on the stream, I could be here until the end of my time, 5 lifetimes over. You know what I mean? Like, there is nothing that I currently do that is so risky that I'd blow myself up. There is nothing that I do right now that is so incorrect about the market that I would put myself into numerous terrible positions to then blow myself up. So basically everything we do and everything we preach on this channel, I could be here 3 lifetimes over, right? And never blow up. You know what I mean? And again, the strategy that we use, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's it's so bulletproof in the sense that, it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, let's go long the market. Oh, my account's done. Like, oh, let's go long the market. Wrong again. No, it's just not gonna happen. I mean, I hate to say, it's not even cocky. It's literally, it's you guys see it. It's in front of your face every single day. You're looking at the same thing I'm looking at, right? Hence the saying, the market is never wrong, right? All we're doing is following the market. We're following the system. So with that being said, I sit here with no fear because I just know that what we're doing it's repeatable. It's always repeatable. It'll be that way till the end of time. As long as you're not loading up on options or, loading up on futures too much and being wrong, etc., then I'll just never blow up, right? It's just not going to happen. So I can literally sit here in front of you guys every single day with a smile on my face, giggling and joking because I just know, and that's a good feeling to have. That's a good feeling to have. Oh my gosh, the dip on the market is getting bought. Let's go. Oh, that was really good. That was really good. That's exactly what I needed here this morning to get me going. Right now, YouTube is still, they're promoting our YouTube stream to like Indian cooking channels right now, and like knitting classes in Pakistan, yeah. So it would appear the YouTube algorithm hasn't quite figured out what our channel's about, even though the name of our YouTube channel is Stock Market Network, but somehow we're getting pushed to cooking classes in India and like knitting in Pakistan. I have no clue. Ricky, yeah, so pretty much anytime the market is over the 50 SMA, transitioning over the 50 SMA, I'm looking to be buying long buys the stock market. I do swing short the stock market, the stock market occasionally. Um, but I like being a long bias player more these days. And the reason being is because after trying to short the market over and over and over and over, you come to the realization that the stock market goes up more than it goes down. Excuse me. And it goes up for and when it's going up, it goes up for a longer extended period of time than that of which when it's going down. So the playing field is more in your favor. So I don't try to short the market as much as I do try to go long, because the game, since the beginning of time, which could change eventually, favors the long side more often and for longer extended periods of time. What I mean is, if you go look at all the selling operations in the market, they don't last usually too long, and so on and so forth. So, yes, I do play bearish, but, for example, let's bring it up. Watch this. Ready? So, and I mean, I guess it goes both ways, but, like, there's a couple good ones. Like, this was a good sell move right here. Like, that's a good sell move. And then, like, right here, look at this. Like, not good, not good, not really good, good, right? Granted, the longs weren't great either there, but it was long up, false breakdown, false breakdown, false breakdown, breakdown, right? So you could have theoretically tried 3 shorts there and basically failed then to get 1, right? And now I'm not saying that every single long is good either, right? Now let's go back to here. I mean, there's a couple of them. I mean, but here you go, like, long up, there's a short down, long up, there's a short down, long up, etc. So, just from my experience over and over and over, the shorts generally are just not as easy, nor do they last quite as long. So I do occasionally, but I would tell you I'm always more long side of the market nowadays, specifically. But yeah, I'll do shorts here and there. But like, my main goal is to be long bias the stock market, in the sense that the S&P 500 returns for the year are measured based off performance to the upside, right? Obviously not the downside, but just alone, by just, like, if I was just being a long bias participant with what I currently do, you can try to beat the market, or beat the market by basically doing it good enough and being in at least some degree of a leveraged asset while the market's going up. Now, if you get all the downside moves, you'd crush the market tenfold, right? But like I said, sometimes the downside moves just, for me, aren't as easy. And again, swing shorts the market, again, they don't last long a lot of times. You could be in a long bias move for like a week, 2 weeks. It's very rare you get a 2-week downturn in the market, right? You know what I mean? So when you're swing short the market, it's just, they don't generally last as long a lot of times. And then, not to mention too, if we were to do like this, let's go to a weekly chart on the market, right? So we're gonna go to a weekly chart. We're gonna step out on the market, right? So if you think about it, right, what is better, to be short the market or long the market? Yeah, I guess if we're in a bear, so if we're in a bear market, right, obviously things don't go straight down and they do bounce up. So we would be looking for longs, right? So I mean, just remember, the rule is always this: above the 50, trade, try long. Below the 50, neutral or try bearish, right? So we can go to the last bear market, right? And you're going to see that longs work, but not as good, because that bigger trend is down. So we can take this for example. Ready? this last bear market here. So market is above the weekly 50 SMA, and then we get below the weekly, so the weekly longer term trend is becoming downward. All right, not as good for the longs. If we're to go, hold on, I gotta map that off real quick. So let's do this. We'll do, is that gonna work? We'll try this and we'll do Alt V. It's like that. Hold on, I'm waiting for this chart to populate, or where is it? I don't even know what's going on here. I'm not even sure if I can get back that far. Let's see. No, won't let me. Dang it. I could do the 1 hour. Let's see. Hold on. No, damn it. Well, I kind of ruined that. Let's see. Guess I could go back to this little blip here. So we'll do that instead. All right, so here is the last time the market went into like an actual decent downtrend, right? So ready, look at this. All right, so market goes down. So if we were swing short, we'd be crushing it, right? In theory, right? Now, if we wanted to get long, right? So market's going down. The only times we would have ever even considered long would have been here. That little blip, well, you might not see that very good. So the only times we would have considered long in that downtrend would have been when the market got over the 50 SMA there, right? And then we would have taken the trade off right here when it broke back down. So again, remember, that's the beautiful thing of using the 50 SMA. Your entry point is also your exit point. So if you get into a trade that doesn't work out and it ends up like reversing back down in a very short period of time, your entry point is almost exactly your stop out. So your loss is like nothing. All right. The next time we would have went long the market would have been here. And then that one ends up working till, well, pretty much, I mean, you questionable, etc., right? So to make it simple, we would basically be like, all right, the market's long, then the market kind of holds support, bounces. We might have stopped out there, and then we would have went back long, and then we would have stopped out there, right? Then you maybe would have tried another long here, and then in the pre-market after-hour session, you would have needed to stop out there. So that's kind of one of the dangerous points, too, is that the breakdown level here on the 50 SMA, you would have needed to exit in the pre-market or after hours. If you would have waited until the market opened, you would have been caught in that downward turn. That would have crushed you. So that's another thing people have to understand, is that the levels are used in the pre-market and after hours. So you got to be mindful of that too. All right, and then you'd be back to long. So when we zoom out, right, and we kind of go like this, out of that whole downturn, you had maybe one opportunity long there, an opportunity long here, another one there, maybe another one there, etc. And then the market ends up bottoming, and now we're back to the rally, right? So now in that downturn, what ends up happening, right? 1 second. Let's get to here. So in that downward drop, we go below the daily 50 SMA, and we get below the weekly. So being below the daily and the weekly 50 SMA would be two long-term time frames in a downtrend. I would be more optimistic on swing shorts or betting short, knowing that the longer-term trends are bearish. You'd have better opportunity there. Versus when the market is above the weekly and above the daily 50 SMA, the longer-term chart is upsided. You're probably not going to get those longer extended sell-off periods because that's just not how the system works, right? So when you talk about being swing short, there's better opportunities to be swing short. For me, it would be when the market's actually in a bear market, just like you would ask, right? So like, let's just say we think the market will let you know when it's in a bear market, right? And when it's in a bear market, you're more likely to have better short opportunities, if you will. Versus, look at all these ones, right? Like, look at all these red weeks. One red week bought up, two small red weeks bought up, red week bought up, not even like one red week bought up, now 3 red weeks there, et cetera, right? So, Guess that's the story for you. When we get below longer term moving averages, the follow through on shorts will be better. Therefore, we'd be more optimistic on swing shorts or betting bears just in general as it relates to the system, and so on and so forth. Again, guys, Bitcoin target 100K, 104,000 right now. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to make a phone call here. But yeah, maybe to better answer your question there, Ricky, is if we are in a bear market, basically I would look to be short below the 50 SMA, long bias above the 50 SMA. As it always is, really, at the end of the day. It's just you have to know those longer term trends are more in your favor at that point. Oh boy. Oh boy. Excuse me, sorry, tired. I want real love, baby. goodness, my goodness, my goodness. How does that happen? Oh gosh darn it, I hate that. Mel, I wouldn't know, probably, to be honest. Not really as well. I mean, I could look at Tesla, give you an idea, but that's probably thinking next year. What that? Let's see. No, it's not the 30 SMA. It's the 30-minute 50 SMA, Ricky. Yeah. So for example, I got swing long mainly Friday of last week. So far it's been 2 days, and I sold this morning pre-market here, 50% of the position now holding. How long on average are you in it? I mean, as long as it takes. I mean, sometimes it's days, sometimes it could be a week. Remember, it's the system. It's not me, it's the system. So look at here. So this is what you got to remember is, again, it's the system. So look at the market was swing long from here all the way until pretty much there. There was these couple random drops there. So that swing, that time. So don't think of it as me. Think of it as the system, right? So here's the system. The system was swing long for generally right there at least 14 days and 1 hour, right? That's that, right? This short move here on the system that one was 7 days, all right? Right now we are on day 2, arguably. Let's see. So right now we are on, well, not really because we have the weekend. So this has been 3 days and 30 minutes. We were swing long because over the weekend and whatever, right? So right now, we've been swing long for 3 days and 30 minutes, right? Regarding Tesla, you said what? You said you have a covered call, Tesla, 500 strike. Again, I'm not as familiar with writing options too much in that regard, but I just always look at things in terms of like up-down analysis, right? So you have a 500 strike, covered call. I mean, I guess I really don't know what to say. I mean, if you're in profit, you could take profit. And I guess right now it's not on the sell side. Right now it's actually on the positive side. Right, so unless the market on Tesla is below 481.67, the price still has the opportunity to stay positive and grind higher, right? If we start to crack below, that's where things in the short term can go negative. So for lack of better words, that's how I'd read that market. 1 sec. Hmm. I mean, yeah, let me read that again. Hold on. You said it was going to expire 12/26. That's 4 days. And you're well in the profit. Let it assign, roll it week 500 or bump to 510. I don't know, dude. That's tricky. It's so hard to always say what you should or it's a shoulda, woulda, coulda game. I mean, if you're already in the profit, I mean, sometimes like, okay, I'll take the money. Yeah, you could roll it up to 510. I guess what's the objective to rolling to 510? Just to make more money, right? And hope that it doesn't go to 510. Let me take another look at this chart. So you clearly got yourself at least a minimum 100 shares. Tesla. Let's go back to the 30. Let's go to the 1 hour here. The 1 hour's there. So right now the institutional long is still on for Tesla. The market maker structure right now is positive. It's a tough one. You know, that's the other thing too. When I look at the market, I go, the market's in a buy signal, right? So it's like, knowing the market's positive, it would be harder for me to sell a covered call, because you would be essentially betting, you're betting the wrong direction almost of the overall market. Now, granted, you know, sometimes individual stocks can move outside of that of the market. Yeah, I mean, I don't even, you know, I really couldn't tell you what to do there. I mean, I can give you ideas, but I mean, if you already know what you're going to do, then by all means do it, right? But yeah, right now the market is positive, so theoretically stocks would be more favored to go up. But, you know, if I was writing a covered call, it might be something better to do when the market goes into a sell signal like this here, right? So market goes into sell signal, be writing covered calls on the stock zone, because stocks would be more likely to go down. So you'd be able to crush the premium on the calls faster, versus having to maybe wait for expiry to basically crush the preems. So maybe going forward, that might be another idea for you to kind of weigh as you do your covered call strategies on Tesla. Is when markets go into selling operations, maybe be a little bit more aggressive on the call sell side, because you at least have the markets favoring, you know, you in that regard. Now, even though, let me just double check, I don't even think Tesla really had a negative reaction to the last sell move. And that's another thing. Look at, even the past couple of weeks, Tesla's been going up even with the market in the sell move. But granted, you'll see that Tesla was having some pretty big knee-jerk reactions. Where is it at? So I would say a lot of like this yanking on Tesla, arguably, might have been due to the fact that market, the market was kind of going through that sell move. But, you know, that just goes to show that even with the market going down, stocks can still defy, if you will. Again, still swing long the market. There's literally no reason to not be long biased the market in general. The market is positive. There is no fear in the market. Volatility is not breaking out. No one is hedging downside risk. Every little pullback we've seen so far is simply just that, just a pullback. It's not a correction. It's not a restructuring of the market. You know, and so just to, well, actually, let's go look at, I want to look at Tesla one more time, too. Right, so you're being so close to expiry, you're hoping for a quick dip. You said you're already well in the profit, right? So take this into consideration. The stock market is positive. Equities are getting bought. So if you're going to need a quick dip on Tesla, you basically need Tesla's individual stock to be bad while the rest of the market is good. Or you're going to need the market to basically just go down in the hopes that then there's some sympathy and then Tesla gets pulled too. So basically the idea of hoping for a dip is somewhat against the grain of the market right now. But then again, the markets do whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I mean? So I hope you do get your quick dip. Being so close to expiry, the premium would get just absolutely cooked on a little dip. $10.25. Yay. We got about 30-ish minutes to go on today's stream. I think we've done a phenomenal job. The market really hasn't done anything but pull back to the target we said it would probably pull back to today. So really all we've had today was recommending where the market would pull back to from the open. The market hasn't really rallied out. It hasn't gone to the 161 target. All we've done is say stay long the market in general and look for basically a pullback down to the volume weighted average price of the pre-market session. That's happened. Support's held right around that area, a little bit below, and that's pretty much it. If we don't go to the 161 target on today's gap up today, then it will be more likely used tomorrow. So we got to go open previous. Oh, that's the SPY. We're going to go SPX. So if by the end of the day the market does not rally out to our 161 target or destination, what is going on here? Or not, I don't understand. Okay. So yeah, if we do not rally out 161 today, they would be more likely that we arguably do it tomorrow. And when I say more likely, that's not necessarily true. It just is in the sense that if you're not going to it today, that means it's still open and it could be used tomorrow. That's it. So basically, this would be my end of day long target or target into tomorrow. If the market holds up and goes up and whatever, right, doesn't fall apart, whatever, so on and so forth. We're still looking there, right? That's still going to be used either end of day today, maybe into tomorrow, etc., etc., etc. Oh, man. Let's see. Where is dang. Okay. Shit. Yeah, algos are calculating which side they will lose the least. Yep. Yeah, right now the market. I mean, yeah, the market's got a mega gap up. A bunch of bunch of untested stuff to the downside. Blah blah blah. It's yeah. I totally agree. Right. Um. I mean, yeah, you could look at it that way. You could look at the markets just kind of had a big gap up overnight, not ready to run. Like we said before, it's on big gap ups, it's not as easy to get the markets to continue to run out of the gates. So nothing that's happening today is really should be too unexpected, I guess. Again, all we can say is fingers crossed. Put the hopium in the pipe. Hopefully tomorrow we get a continuation to the upside. If we don't, again, does not really matter. Do, 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 do. Yikes. Another pullbacks on the... Yeah, I mean, just looks like market's just going down like we said before. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I haven't brought this up, but look at... Oh, no, the Magnificent Seven are going down. So what's going on in the market? It's not going up again. All you got to do is watch the market internals. You get a pretty good idea for how the market's moving. Yeah, basically that. Still riding along. That's another thing that's, I would say, dangerous for most of retail, especially, you know, just starting out, right? Is that the best long entry for at least, I don't say the best, well, I mean, the best long entry would be the absolute low, right? But, you know, as it relates to the SMA system and the market transitioning, your long entry should have been somewhere right around there in the pre-market and kind of into the open, etc. And then, you know, you have someone coming in today on a mega gap up trying to buy, right? And then they're getting dumped on. So that's the difference. And if you guys do go back to this morning, you will mention, I'm like, yeah, I can't really suggest you should probably be getting long up here in the market, right? Your entry was supposed to be on Friday down here, so now the market is extended, etc. So, you know, that's it. Is generally the some of the better buy points or sell points in the market as it relates to the SMA trend. I mean, they don't last long. They might last for a couple minutes and that's it, right? So it's like, hence the point where, you know, the market was down for, you know, an entire week, and then your long opportunity was arguably here on Friday for just a few minutes pre-market. That was it. So you literally waited 7 days for an entry, and then it's gone. That's the point. The market is not easy. Yeah, so look at, yeah, you seeing that little, the market is pulling back. It's pulling back. Yeah, that would be fun to see this thing get all the way smoked down to the 10 SMA or the 50 SMA. That would be ideal, especially for you, right? If that thing can get smacked down to the 10 to the 50, then you should be looking real nice. Well, you know what? I think we're going to end the stream here early today when we got 3 people hanging out. You know, so I got other more important things to do, but I'm sure one day YouTube will kick our algorithm on, and, you know, then we'll have more people to teach and help, you know, and alleviate a bunch of people from getting cooked in the market. But, you know, that's going to take some time. So, anyways, I'll catch you guys back tomorrow. We will do the same exact thing as we always do, which is pretty much predict the largest globally traded stock market in the world. And, yeah, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good one. Love you. Have a great weekend with your friends and family. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Where is my stream thing? There it is.